Ormund has done the calculation that because Tumbleton is loyal to Rhaenyra, if he holes up inside the city walls and keeps his troops in there, she will not be able to burn him out without having to lay waste to an entire city that declared loyalty to her, which would delegitimize her and make her a monster in the eyes of the realm. And that's what's so brilliant about Ormund. This guy is a major player of the chess game of this world.
I will ensure that my men remain on their best behavior. Provided, of course, that you remain on yours. See them out. When dealing with those beneath you, you must be fair but firm.
Yes, sire.
Daemon has loomed large in the fandom and certainly in the book, and we wanted to give him a proper introduction. I think this is a fun way to do it.
Daemon and Ormund's relationship is really dysfunctional and horrible to watch, but brilliant and fun to direct because it's a really abusive relationship. Daemon has only known the love that he's known from Ormund, which isn't love at all. Daemon is in Ormund's thrall, but doesn't really understand it or know it, and Ormund is a great manipulator and knows when to give love and when to give punishment. He's an evil man.
The revelation about Daemon's true identity and Ormund's deception marks the start of kind of paranoia for Rhaenyra. Ormund's a kind of unknowable force. His psychology is very inaccessible. I think he sort of becomes a kind of like bogeyman in Rhaenyra's consciousness, not least because she doesn't understand his intention. And I think that paranoia starts to have like broader repercussions.
Your Grace, Prince Daemon's river host marches on King's Landing. Tumbleton is not much further.
We march on the town and root out the Hightowers house to house.
This is the hand of the king. We seek the Prince Aemond.
He was here, but when he learned that Rhaenyra took King's Landing, he and his dragon fled.
When Rhaenyra took King's Landing?
Oh my. Oh, you didn't know.
I think she wants Aemond for herself. I think she wants the castle for herself. I think she wants power. I think she's kind of unafraid to take control, and she does.
I think when Cole hears that Aemond isn't coming, you know, it feels like a real stab in the back kind of thing. Because they've had this whole plan together for such a long time. It's not the first time Cole's been abandoned. Certainly, I doubt will be the last. It's clearly something that is, you know, a facet of this character in his sort of journey. We must cling to our honor, lest we become beasts ourselves.
Sunfire's where we left in season 2. There's this big crater that Sunfire's impact left, where he's still coiled up. So not much has changed, really. The only difference was that a group of settlers had taken refuge there and started using Sunfire as a means to make money. And Aegon's not happy about that at all.
Wake up. You wanted to see him. You've seen him. He's dead.
Tom just performs it so wonderfully, you know, seeing his old friend there on the ground and having to face the reality of like, my friend is gone and I'm dragonless and I don't have an army, or a lot of people think I'm dead. I mean, it's a really low place for him to find himself in this episode. And there's a bit of a pile-on going here through his journey into the Dante's Inferno that is Rook's Rest.
The new roles in this scene, and what Larys is always trying to teach Aegon, is to not stand out too much if you want to get through to the next day. So I think when they first arrive at the camp, it's almost anything anyone asks you, you go, yes, I can do that, yes, I can do that. So I think any role that they would be given, Larys would want them to do, because it means you've got less eyeballs on you.
They take on these roles of basically workers, slaves. Well, that is the low point. Kissing a boot covered in human fecal matter. There has to be that bleak hopelessness, and I've enjoyed playing that kind of spiral down.
Helaena. Discovering Helena's pregnancy means that this is a direct threat to Rhaenyra's heir. And if that is discovered, she will either force Helaena to drink some moon tea, or force her to bring the pregnancy to term, have the baby, and then kill it. And knowing how ardent Helaena is about keeping the child and raising the child, it makes it all the more important that Alicent tries to get them out of there.
I think she doesn't tell Alicent because she feels so powerless in her own life. It's something that just belongs to her, and that's extremely sacred to her. And also because her son in season 2 was a casualty of this war, and she's not willing to sacrifice another child.
Garrick of Whitegrove, you have violated guest right. Your punishment will fit your crime.
Garrick's punishment that Ormund metes out to him is to have him gelded, castrated for the crime of attempted rape, and to have his arm broken for the crime of breaking Marna's arm. It's very much Ormund's projection of justice and righteousness. He's been raised in the light of the Seven, and he's raising Daemon in the same light, not the corrupted, perverse Valyrian ways of the foreign Targaryens. He metes out this eye for an eye justice publicly and lets Leo off, because that is what the compassionate ruler would do.
Now, you must be king.
I guess Ormund could be described as like the pushiest of all pushy parents. He wants Daemon to be king. And it's not from a place of pride and love, it's actually from a place of self-interest. Because I think if Ormund can instill Daemon as king, he essentially can become king himself. Daemon becomes a puppet king, and Ormund becomes the real power behind that. The whole journey of Ormund is one of self-interest and ambition.
In the moment where Daemon is told he has to kill Leo, he ends up doing it, I think, out of fear of Ormund, out of a longing to be seen in good light by Ormund. It's such a chaotic time, and he almost has to get out of it.
It was a great sequence when Daemon, when he's got the money, he's got some gold from Lady Jane, and suddenly Caraxes takes off and lands by this cave, and Daemon gets off, and who comes out of the cave but Rhaenyra?
He finds his daughter, which is obviously, that's the betrayal. We see him have to deal with the idea of becoming a father and going back to his wife and saying, whoa, this has happened. And then obviously the fallout with Jace and all of these things. And when he sees what a poor state she's in, and then also the type of dragon that she's with, he's like, wow, this is sort of alarm bells.
I think there is always a child-father relationship that exists between them, where she does have this thing of oh God, there is so much that I have failed you on. But then she's like, okay, we're more even than we could ever be. Not only would you have done the same, you didn't think I could do this. So genuinely, who's laughing now?
I bring justice. I bring vengeance. The one who rode Sheep Stealer.
I think Rhaenyra is so surprised, honestly, by her emotional reaction to it. Whereas that's something that she would think was probably emotionally satisfying. And then in the moment just realizes that she feels cheated out of the satisfaction of taking vengeance herself.
I think the thing about Mysaria is she has such strong instincts because she's such a survivor. She's had to rely on them. So when this happens, there's just something about it and something about Daemon's demeanor which just doesn't sit well with her.
Whose head is that?